Hello, everybody. This is Howard the Teaserking coming to you with week 3 of the NFL. Last week I was 8-4. My lock won, which was Dallas +9 against San Diego, and the Rams +2.5 against Indy. The Rams should have won much easier. It's alarming how bad their defense looked and how bad. And then Stafford played Stafford. He scores a lot, and then he sits there for 2 or 3 quarters doing nothing. Then they get down, and then 3 plays later, it's a touchdown. You're like, where's that been for the whole third quarter? And they make the game close when there's no need to make it close. But he did that on Detroit for years. So start out the first quarter, touchdown, and then maybe another touchdown, and then he lets the other team come back, and then at the end he might win if it's a bad team. Against good teams, he gets happy feet and he gets sacked and throws interceptions and fumbles. That's why the Lions never won. NFL talent's NFL talent. Okay, so this week I have a 25-unit lock going. Very strong play. I know this is the time. If you're going to buy a lock or buy the NFL, this is a good week to do it. This is a very, very strong play. There's some interesting games this week and some interesting injuries you got to look at. So first thing you need to look at is the injuries, right? So you've got tonight's game, Carolina and Houston. I don't think Tyrod Taylor's playing, so you got the backup. Well, the question is, how good is the backup? Is he any good? Is he terrible? Again, these are all NFL players. He's not that bad. The line is 844. I can't just jump on Carolina because the backup's playing, because he's probably pretty good. Again, he's a pro quarterback. Look at Heineke for Washington, right? Who's Heineke? And he doesn't look too bad. So this is why it's very, very strange. And I'm not quite sure to draft like the guy in the first round. First of all, like a Trevor Lawrence, too much pressure. He's not that good. And then what happens? He doesn't have the chip on his shoulder that Tom Brady has, because I was the first pick. So he thinks his shit don't smell, and they're going to come in and, he gets all the money. He doesn't have to do anything. You get a guy in the third or fourth round, Russell Wilson, obviously Brady, even Aaron Rodgers was not a first round pick, I don't believe. And they get mad. Why wasn't I picked earlier? And then they play much better. And that's why a lot of the first picks don't work out. Peyton Manning, he did, but Ryan Leaf and some others that were picked first. Joe Burrow, I think, is different. I think he'll be okay. But look at that year before draft class. You got Doug Tagovailoa, who's not very good. You got Darnold, who stinks. You've got Josh Rosen, who can't start anymore. The only one that was good was Baker Mayfield. And then at the end of the first round was Lamar Jackson, who they're experimenting with. I still don't think. I thought when they drafted him, he'd be a wide receiver with his speed. You could use his speed, but he's not a quarterback. So that's what you got to look at. So let's look at injuries this week to the quarterback. Indy, is Carson Wentz playing? If he's not, and I'm betting huge on Tennessee, because Jacob Eason was not good in college. I don't know why they would think he'd be any good in the pros. So I don't understand that. See, I don't understand. You watch them play college ball, and if they're not good, then why do you think they're going to be good pros? I mean, it makes no sense. If they couldn't do better against college players, they're not going to do better against pro players. So that one always kills me. That's what I have against Josh Allen. He looked terrible at Wyoming. He wasn't that great. He was good when he had the Green Bay running back. Can't think of his name right now. But so he ran for 2,000 yards. So Allen looked okay. I mean, because he can hand the ball off a lot. When he left, Allen struggled. Allen was not should never have been a top 5 pick. And again, he struggles against the blitz, but he had the good running back. Who else? So Washington, we know Heineke's in against Fitzgerald. It's the same thing. That spread did go down. It was 9. It's down to 7 or 7.5. New England, you got the rookie there who New Orleans will give him all kinds of looks. He, as far as I know, Mac Jones is playing. Let's see, Chicago, Cleveland. So Chicago, Dalton hurt himself, but I guess he's going to play this week. That's what we'll need to see. If Dalton plays, I like Chicago more than if Fields plays. If Fields plays, I love Cleveland. And this is it. I mean, if you watch Cleveland, if you watch Fields, he didn't do anything last week. He's not ready. It's like going to a new job. You got a learning curve and you got to get comfortable. There's no way Fields is going to walk right in and do anything. Plus, he's got the Ohio State offense that he's got to worry about. That this is the Bear offense, and this is Cleveland you're playing, not Illinois or Purdue. So if Fields plays, I'll bet heavy on Cleveland. Again, you got to get off of, well, he's Fields. Look, he's a great athlete. Yeah, but is he a great quarterback? And even if he is Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, their first year, they didn't do nothing. It's not a position you pick up your first game and you go with. Even Mayfield and current, Mahomes sat out a whole year learning. So you've got to watch all that. You can't just go in and people think, oh, why isn't he playing? And I hate when these writers and announcers are like, the coach is an idiot. Why isn't he playing Fields? Because Fields he doesn't know what he's doing. He has to learn their system. It's not something you just, put him in the first game and it's going to be Ohio State and they're going to put up 50 points. They're out of their minds. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. Pittsburgh had a lot of defensive injuries. TJ Watt, Bush. See if they're playing. If they're out, take Cincinnati. That spread went from 4.5 down to 3. So there's a lot of Cincinnati money going on, which means probably they're injured and they're probably not going to play. But you'll probably watch that Friday night and see if they practice and see if they play or if they're just listed out. Because Cincinnati, Burrow can light them up. Now, Burrow's a different animal. He's played a year. He's played there. And Cincinnati had a pro offense. And they played Alabama, Georgia, Florida, and all those Auburns. So they played pro players. So therefore, they're a little bit better. But even Burrow struggled in the beginning last year. But now he's in his second year. So it's a whole different scenario. Miami, Oakland. Again, Tug Tagovailoa, although I think Brissett's a better quarterback. So if Tagovailoa plays, I like Oakland. If Brissett plays, I don't like him as much. Miami's an under team, and there probably won't be a lot of scoring, especially not with Tagovailoa in the game. With Brissett, I think they have a chance to win the game. He's a better quarterback. The Jets, Zach Wilson is struggling. They're not scoring a lot. A lot of it is they don't have a running game and they don't have very good receivers. But, so he's played New England and he's played Carolina, 2 teams. I don't know how good Carolina's defense is, but, New England's is good. It's the one thing Belichick does. He is a good defensive coordinator, but Brady won the Super Bowls because you needed to score. And Brady would win the game for you at the end. So I'll keep an eye on what's going on here, but I don't see any injury. It's just he's on a bad team, and we know this, but he's not a bad quarterback. The game of the week, Tampa Bay and the Rams. Right now I see Tampa. I want the dog. Initially, Rams are favored by 3, and had I been at the win on Sunday, I would have bet on Tampa getting 9, would have been a lock. Here, Tampa's laying 1 or 1.5, maybe 2. What did the Rams show me? So they beat a good Bear defense, but Dalton seems to be able to pretty much light them up. Then you get the Rams go to Indy with freaking whatchamacallit. Carson Wentz, and they lit up the Rams pretty much. They ball controlled them and made it a very. They had the lead after that stupid punt that the guy, the blocker got hit by because he didn't move over enough, and the Rams had to win at the end. Tampa Bay will eat them up alive offensively, right? Brady and those. I get Aaron Donald, but Brady won't hold the ball long enough, and they'll have a good game plan. And Brady's seen this before. He beat him in the Super Bowl on New England, 13-3 with Donald. He's in sync with the receivers and Gronk and the running game, Fontenot. I think Tampa Bay ball controls them and scores a lot on them. I think Stafford, this is a game he normally chokes, right? This is a game he'll throw 3 interceptions and he'll lose or he'll fumble. If you see, they'll put pressure on him. He'll get happy feet and he'll just dump the ball because he's going to get sacked. So this is the game that I definitely like Tampa in it. If you can get a -1 and you get +5, I think that's a Tampa play. I don't see the Rams blowing them out with Brady. I was hoping that the Rams would be a 3-point favorite. And it's surprising because the thing in Vegas is, why do I sneeze when I do this broadcast? You have LA close to you. So LA, San Diego, USC, UCLA is usually bet more because they're close and the people from California drive to Vegas and bet them and you get better bets. So with that said, look for this to maybe go LA -1, but I'm not sure. But if you can get 5 in Tampa, it's a bet. Over under 54, I really don't know. I don't know where to go with this as far as over under. Brady will score. Their defense will give up points. The Rams will score some touchdowns. Over 48, probably will get close to that. This game could easily be 24-20 or 20. I don't know that this is going to be a 40-37 game. I don't know that it'll get that out of hand. But, definitely should be a close game there. Seattle, Minnesota, both quarterbacks are there. Green Bay, Frisco, both quarterbacks are there. Philly and Dallas, both quarterbacks are there. Although I don't love Jalen Hurts. Dallas should struggle with Jalen Hurts, just figuring out how to play defense against them. Dallas, now they had trouble with San Diego with the 2 deep safeties, and I'm like, seriously, they don't know how to handle 2 deep safeties? And San Diego had a couple of touchdowns called back, or San Diego wins the game. So the question is, can Jalen Hurts throw the ball? Can he complete passes? Defensively, Philly should have a good defense, but it's hard to stop this Dallas team. I was shocked it was 2017. All they scored was 20. They got 14 in the first half against San Diego last week, so that was a surprise. So let's quickly break the teams down. Carolina, I have as a B team and an under team, which means they have a pretty good defense. They can score a little bit. Again, I don't like Darnell at all. I can't trust him as a road 7.5 or road 8. Houston, I have as an over team. They seem to score and give up a lot of points. Again, they played Jacksonville and scored a lot. Last week, they played Cleveland, and they got a late touchdown. Cleveland scored a lot. So Houston's defense is weak, but Carolina with Darnell was not the type of offense that's going to really bother them. So I'm just watching this game. Again, Houston's back up. We'll see. Arizona I have as a B team, a strong B team, and Jacksonville is a W. So Jacksonville is just weak defensively. Lawrence gets a little lucky and then throws 3 interceptions. Their defense is extremely weak. Arizona, good, strong offense. Their defense seems to struggle a little bit. What did they do last week? last week against Mini, 34-33. There was a pick six and many scores. So Arizona's more of a B, but an over. Indy, I got them as an E. They're playing Tennessee, but without I don't know why I always blank out at what's his name? Carson Wentz. I don't know why I always have trouble with that name. But with Carson Wentz, he runs a little bit. Without him, they're definitely W team. Very low scoring and a decent defense, not a great defense. So again, watch the quarterback. Tennessee, I have as an over team. Look at the Seattle game. Their defense, can be beat, but now they started the score. I don't know what happened the first week against Arizona. Arizona must be a good run defense to stop Henry. I don't know. But last week was more Tennessee putting up 60 points with Seattle. Baltimore, definitely an over team. Their defense is okay. Their offense is good. Again, catching Lamar. Detroit doesn't have the defense to really stop Lamar Jackson. Detroit's a W. They have a really weak defense and they can score. But again, they seem to score enough to make the game interesting, but then the other team kind of figures them out, like Green Bay, and then blows them out in the second half. So they look pretty, but then they can't, they're not going to beat you. So it's just a weak team, very weak defense. So probably a high scoring game there. Washington, I have them as an under, I think, but I don't even know anymore after what they did with the Giants. Probably a little bit more of an E, which is they score in the 20s and give up in the 20s. Their defense, I thought, was better. I'm not sure. Buffalo, if the Giants put up a 29 on them, Buffalo will get into the 20s. That line's 8-46. So that's what you have there. Is Buffalo is a strong team, pretty strong defense. Got the shutout over Miami last week. New Orleans and New England, I have them both as under teams. New Orleans with Winston, I don't know what to expect from him. Is he going to throw touchdowns or interceptions? New England's clearly an under team. With Mac Jones, it's not Alabama. He doesn't have the flashy wide receivers. It's New England with an average offense, good defense. New Orleans defense should be good in this game. They should shut down whatever New England wants to do. But with Winston, it's all Kamara and, probably a low scoring game. San Diego, Kansas City. San Diego, I got as an under. Holding Dallas to 20 is incredible. They'll do the two deep safeties against Kansas City. I'm assuming. You got Herbert, you got the receivers. I mean, they're a good team. They just aren't scoring as much as they probably should. Kansas City's all over, great offense and a weak defense. Atlanta's the only Z team I see. Jacksonville I have as a W because they score a little bit more, but Atlanta hasn't been scoring, although they did put up 20 on Tampa. Maybe they're starting to get the offense. That needs a few weeks because they lost Julio Jones and they got Pitts, the number 4 draft pick. So you got to wait for them to blend. The Giants, I don't know. They're an even, I guess. They scored 30 on Washington, or 29 is like unbelievable. So, again, you don't know. Daniel Jones seems to be running way too much. They go back, nothing's open, he runs. I mean, that lasts only so long. You can see 4 quarterbacks are injured, and you start running, you're going to get injured. Chicago, I got is kind of a W and an under. Maybe they're just an under team. They don't score too much, but they got that great defense. Cleveland, I have as an over. Good quarterback, good offense, and an average defense. Cincinnati and Pitt, I have both as evens. Uneven is they score 25 and give up 24 or something. So they're not an A team where they'd be 35 and give up 10. They're not a Z team where they score 10 and give up 35. So I don't know what to call teams that are like in, 25 and 25. So Cincinnati and Pitt, I have them both as evens. Miami, I have as a W and an under, which means they don't score a lot and they have a good defense. So they're going to play under games, low scoring. Oakland, I have as a B team and an over. Beating Baltimore was a hell of a win. Beating Pittsburgh, they scored a lot. So that's why they get the B ranking. The over ranking comes because their defense is average, but they can put up points. The Jets I have as a W and an under. They don't score a lot. Their defense is okay. Keep the game close and low. Denver I got as a B. They're winning. I like Bridgewater. They still have that good defense, so I still think they're an under team. Basically, Tampa is an A team, but they score a lot, and their defense gives up something, so they're more of an over. An A over means they're an A. They like score 30 and give up 20, but they're definitely the best team. And then the Rams are kind of an A. They're not really an over. They're not really an under. Their defense, against Indy, 24-20, 27-24. It's not an A team, and it's not really an under team. So it looks like their defense you can score on. But your quarterback needs to run or get rid of it quick. Seattle, Minnesota, both teams over, both teams with great quarterbacks, good offenses and weak defenses. Green Bay, I have as a B, forgetting the New Orleans game. The real team showed up against Detroit. Again, this is the difference. On the road, at home, it's all who you're playing. That's why each week's independent. You can't look at what happened last week. You can kind of judge the type of team, but now they're at Frisco. They're not at home against the Lions, so you can't expect the same result. But they got a good offense with Rodgers. Their defense looked kind of weak in that first half, got a little bit better. They got a new coordinator, so you got to get everybody used to it. So I'll figure another couple weeks till you see a better Green Bay defense. Frisco, what did they do last week? They beat Philly 17-11, so they're a B team. They score more than they give up. They're pretty solid defensively, offensively. They beat the Lions. Even then, they let up 2 late touchdowns. So it's kind of hard. It's really a tough. Are they a B? Are they an even? They're not an A. Hard to really pinpoint them now. Their defense looks pretty good though. And then Philly, Dallas. I got Philly as a B. Under team, strong defense, and Dallas I have as an even. They score. Their defense was better, but there was 2 penalties that took back 2 San Diego touchdowns. So I can't call them a B. They're pretty much an even team. So the object is like New Orleans, New England, 2 under teams. You probably play the game under. Minnesota, Seattle, 2 over teams. You probably play the game over. It's hard to play the game because you don't know what Cincy and Minnesota are going to do. So it makes it a little bit difficult to really count the game, what to do with it. So let me give you a few picks. So let's go San Diego, Kansas City. Kansas City is 6.5, 7-point favorites. Like I said, be careful with Kansas City this year. Now they're coming off of a loss. The trend on this is both teams here. San Diego is a very strong dog. So let's go to the chart. This is my Excel chart that I use to learn about team personality, I'll call it. So when I look at 2019 and 2020 and 2 games this year, so Kansas City is a home favorite. Is only 12-6, 13-5 against. They're 31-9 overall, 78%. San Diego is 11-0 as a road dog, 18-0 on the road. Now, last week I locked Dallas because San Diego as a home favorite is 5-7, but 12-0 against as a home favorite. So this is where my numbers come into play. So what you have is, what role are they? What's their personality? And you can see San Diego much stronger on the road. Obviously, going 11-0, they were dogs to Kansas City, and obviously they covered. They might get late covers. This will probably be a higher scoring game than the Dallas game, but they'll have the two deep safeties again. Again, they have new coaches, so you got to be careful there. As a against road dog, they're 10-1, and they're 30-4 against. So you have differential trends. You have 18-0 on the road, 11-0 as road dog. You have 10-1 as a bet against road dog, 30-4 against. And so this is the problem, but that's what you look at. Over under here is 55. Let's go back to 2018. So 2018, San Diego 17-1 as a road dog, Jesus, and 13-5 against. So you can see in 2018, the other teams weren't as strong against them on the road. 11-0 as a road favorite, so they're 28-1 on the road basically since 2018. Kansas City's 21-7 as a home favorite, 79% when you take them. So here you have a huge freaking trend on San Diego as on the road, but as a road dog. And Kansas City's okay. So let's go to 20. Well, 20 and 21 is basically just last year and 2 games this year. So this really is mostly last year's. And San Diego, now here's where people will go, well, yeah, but Herbert's new now, their quarterback. Okay, 6-0 road dog, 3-0 road favorite, 9-0 on the road, 15-3 against the number, 83%, 16-2 against, 89. So what do? They play a bunch of close games. KC last year and this year, 6-4 is a home favorite, 8-2 is against. They played Cleveland and they were getting their butts beat, and then they came back at the end. If you play against Kansas City, 17-4, 81%. So what's happening is KC wins the Super Bowl. Their numbers get expanded larger than they should be. And then they don't cover as well because you get the big head from winning. Then they go lose the Super Bowl. So they weren't playing that great because they had won it the year before. And now here comes year 3 of playing in the Super Bowl. And they're tired and a little more skeptical of the injuries. Some of the players leave, like the left tackle, Fisher. It's funny, now he's an all-pro on Indy, and I'm going, he wasn't that good at Kansas City. I mean, they didn't see. This is the thing with offensive linemen; it doesn't really matter. I mean, yeah, you give the quarterback time, but if I blitz you with 6 or 7 guys, I don't care who your offensive linemen are, you're not going to do anything. They don't win you the games. The Mahomes wins you the games. The Kelsey wins you the game. The Hill wins you the game. The Chocolatey Claire loses you the game like you did last week. But generally, those players win you the game, not the offensive linemen. So in this game, I really think I really like Kansas City or San Diego. I'm sorry. I really like San Diego in the 12.5, 13 points. Kansas City's not blown anybody out. Baltimore came back with Lamar Jackson running, basically. I don't like Kansas City's defense. I mean, their offense is, of course, good. San Diego with Herbert, he's strong. They held Dallas to 20 points, so I like their defense. They play each other twice a year. Now, here's where the difference comes in. Because they play each other twice a year, what you have is they're used to Kansas. They know how to play KC. They see them a lot. The speed, the Kelsey, the Hill doesn't bother you as much as when you first see them. It's sort of like playing Army and Navy, and they run that just wishbone all game. You can't really practice against it because of your speed. But when you play them every year, or if you play Army and Navy, and then you get used to that type of offense, now you know how to play them better. So it's the same thing here because they see Kansas City twice a year. They've seen Mahomes 4 times now. Herbert obviously covered against them last year, going 6-0 against the number. So that's what you have. So that's the difference in division games, right? Once you see each other a lot, you know how to play them. And if you lose to them, you're a little bit more pissed off. So San Diego, okay, this game's a fairly close game. Good defense from San Diego. Herbert looks good, and their offense. So I definitely like the dog here. When you look at the game, as I said in the video yesterday, look at the score. So don't look at the spread. San Diego's at Kansas City. What's the score? And I'm probably saying 24-20, maybe 27-20 at the most. Kansas City probably. San Diego, I don't think they can hold. Kansas City can hold San Diego to 20. So I think you might even see a 31-27 game. But I don't see 35-0 Kansas City, no, not against this team. So therefore, when I look at the score and I keep coming 31-27, 31-28, 34-30, 34-27, those are the scores. And even with Kansas City winning, but you got 12.5, 13 points here. So play one is take San Diego plus the 12.5. The over is 55. You can go over 49. 49's 28-21. With San Diego's defense, it's a hard one to really think you're going to get that number in the pros. In college, yeah, but in the pros, that's a hard number, even with Kansas City, because San Diego's defense and, San Diego probably run the ball to keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands. And but it could go. I mean, it could be over, but I like the 13 in San Diego better. The second game, Tampa Bay and the Rams. I got Tampa -1, over under 54.5. I got to go with Tom Brady here, getting 5 points. As I discussed, you've got the Rams who are just, their defense doesn't, they can rush the passer, but you can't rush Brady. He gets rid of the ball way too quickly. He'll hit Gronk. He'll hit all of his great receivers, Antonio Brown. They'll all adjust for Aaron Donald. And Tampa can run, Fontenot and the kid from USC, Jones. And their defense is just as good as the Rams. So you got Brady, who's much better than Stafford. So let's look at the numbers. So the Rams is a home favorite for this year, and last year is 5-2, bet against 4-3. Although here's where you really can't look at here's where you got in trouble, right? You look at the Rams charts, you can't, because now they got Stafford, not Goff. So you can kind of pay attention, but it's hard to. Tampa is a road favorite. They love being the road favorite. 7-1 last year, 4-4 against. This is with Brady. They're 18-4 their last 22 in a teaser, 9-2 on the road. And now keep in mind, they played New Orleans, at Green Bay, and the Super Bowl. So they've played strong teams and won. Their mission is, they're coming in to show the Rams who's boss. Stafford's good, but he chokes. And when he get into pressure and they put pressure on him, he dances around. He turns his head and just wants to get rid of the ball. He's going to keep doing that. I like Tampa's defense. I think overall you got Aaron Donald and you got the cornerback. He just throw away from the quarterback. He's got 3 receivers. Right, you want to hit Antonio Brown, you line up where the cornerback's not. I'll throw it to you and the other 2 guys. So he's got a bunch of receivers that one great cornerback can't cover all 3 guys. So, and then you got Gronk. So the Rams to let Carson Wentz put up points on them. Just, I don't see that as it's a strong two guys, but I don't see it as a strong defense. I just think Brady gets the game, gets the W. Let's go back to 19. So this is all Brady, 18-4. So we go back to 2019, and let's see Tampa. Tampa's still 9-1 as a road favorite, 8-2 as a road dog, 17-3, even with, I guess it was Winston in 2019, right? Brady in 2020. So even then, they were still a strong road team. 4-6 against as a road favorites. They got on the road and kick butt. The Rams, 9-4 as a home favorite, 8-5 against. So they've never been a strong home favorite. I'm not sure too many teams that are strong home favorites. The strongest home favorite I see is looks like Cleveland at 11-3, and Tennessee at 10-3, and that's it. Even Green Bay's 15-5. No, there's no team that's a very strong home favorite, but yet bet against them. Tampa's 11-2 against as a home favorite. Chicago 8-1 against. Atlanta 8-1 against. Carolina 8-1 against. Philly 10-1 against. Arizona 7-1 against. Tennessee 11-2 against. Pitt 11-3 against. Buffalo 11-3 against. New England 12-3 against. Houston 9-2 against. And San Diego 12-0 against. And Seattle 14-3 against. So, I mean, look at these teams as home favorites. None of them, they're all much better to bet against than to play. And, Green Bay is probably the top, and Cleveland are the top two. And this is 2019 and 2020. So this is the last 2+ years. So, again, 2020, you can't really count because there wasn't crowd in the seats. So you really got to go back to 2019. Which this is including 19 and 20. So let's see if it's an anomaly with the crowd, because there wasn't the home field advantage you had last year. So let's keep that in mind. So that's what with this COVID and the nobody in the seats. This is where that makes everything complicated, because you kind of, what do you do with last year's stats on one hand, but they still have to play the game. So it's like me and you playing, tennis or racquetball. You still play if there's a crowd or not. If you beat me, you're the better player with or without a crowd. So that's kind of the only view I can take on it, is you still had the games. And, Tampa went to New Orleans and beat them in the playoff game. And there was some crowd in the game, but it's just what happens. I mean, what do you do with it? So you're just looking for Eagles and everything. So here I like Tampa getting 5. If it goes to 3, I don't like it. And I would probably go over if it became that, because Tampa's defense you can score on. The Rams, normally it's hard to score, but what Indy did, so Indy gets a freaking 51, the Rams in Indy last week, which how do you explain that? But that's what I see. So if I get Tampa in 5, I was hoping they'd be the dog. Now again, keep in mind the injuries. So if Carson Wentz doesn't play and the backup is playing, who stinks, then I love Tennessee even. It's 5.5 now. I don't know if they've already said that the other guy's the starter. Wentz is out. He sprained both ankles. That Donald hit, I'm surprised he didn't break the ankle, because he really knocked him down funny backwards. So I would not think Wentz, if he's going to play, he's going to take shots in his ankles and play. But I don't know. And again, it's a division game, so you've got to wait and see. If Wentz plays, hard to call. If he doesn't play, then you take Tennessee. And then Chicago, Cleveland. If Fields starts and plays, which I don't think he's supposed to, I love Cleveland. If Dalton plays, then it would be an over. So I know Dalton's going to generate points. He did against the Rams. The defense is okay. Cleveland, I like their offense. Their defense isn't great. Against Fields, Cleveland will shut them out. And I love Cleveland. Against Dalton, Dalton will score. And then it's a little more risky to bet Cleveland -1. Then you go over, it's 46. You go over 40. That'll be easy. So you got to see that. See the Pitt injuries. And then Miami, Oakland. Again, if Tagliabue actually, now he's hurt ribs, he probably won't play. Brissett is better. Look for Miami to give them a better game. So if Tagliabue actually plays, you want to bet Oakland. Or you want to bet it under. Well, it's hard to bet Oakland under, but what they do last week against Pitt, they put up a 43 against Pitt. This would be a similar score because Miami's defense. So Brissett probably won't throw. He'll run more. He's a much better runner than Tag. Oakland, now, as I said, personality-wise. So let's look at Oakland, Miami, personality-wise. So since 2019, Miami is a road dog, 11-2. They're a very strong road dog. Now that includes Tug last year. Bet against 7-6. So it's when Miami's on the road, and they're the dog, you take them. Oakland is a home favorite, is only 3-2, 4-1 against. So they're a lousy home favorite. Oakland, if you bet against Oakland since 2019 as a favorite, it's 10-1. So Oakland is not a very good team as the favorite. So that's their personality. So what happens is they score a little. Their defense is not good. Again, it's the matchup of the team. And then, but they play close games. Let's put it like that. And then, so in this place, if it was the normal, it would be a Miami play as Oakland's a weak home favorite. So, yes, they beat Baltimore and then they beat Pitt. But they were the dog. Now they're favored. So let's look at 2021. But again, 20 is not, there's no crowd, so it's hard. Miami 5-0 is a road dog without a crowd. 15-3 against the number, very good against the number. Oakland 1-1 is a home favorite, both ways. 4-1 is a road favorite. 5-0 against. So again, they're a lousy favorite. Even with no crowd, you could bet against them 5-0. So they're just not a good favorite team. That's why I do the personality trait here, because this shows you where do I bet the teams. So again, it's a hard one. Oakland, don't just think they're going to kill Miami. It'll be they'll probably just run the ball more with Brissett and keep the game low scoring, and anybody can win. So be careful of the injuries. So let's look at who do I. So going back to 2019, let's look for some trends that are good here. Detroit obviously bet against as a home dog. They're a home dog this week. 13-1 against, 29-5, 85% betting against Detroit. 16-1 against at home. So when Detroit's at home, they're 16-1 if you bet against them. This is since 2019. They're just a terrible team. Tampa's 11-2 against as a home favorite. That's with 1 year of Brady and 1 year of Winston. So I'm seeing that change. I see Tampa at home. They crushed Atlanta last week. So that trend is not a Brady trend, so you got to be careful with that. Green Bay is a road favorite this week. They're 6-2 as a road favorite, 3-5 against. Frisco's 8-7 and 10-5. So Frisco's not a great home favorite. The Rams are a home dog, are 2-1. They're not a home dog often. New Orleans is a road dog, 5-1, 28-9 overall. Now that's Drew Brees. So again, you kind of got to ignore. You got to wait for this year to get the Winston stats in, and then it's Sean Payton. So as long as he's there, it's pretty stable. He'll figure out how to make Winston a better quarterback. Atlanta is really tough. Atlanta is a road dog to the Giants. So Atlanta is 10-6 as a road dog, nothing special. The Giants are 3-1 as a home favorite. Make of it what you will. They are 14-1 as a road dog, which they were on Thursday night last week. So again, here's where the stats come in. Carolina road favorite, only 1-0 the last 2 years as a. This is 19 and 20. They were only a road favorite once, so not a lot there. Philly is a road dog to Dallas. Philly's 8-2 as a road dog, so that's pretty good. Washington's a road dog to Buffalo. Washington 10-4 is a road dog, nothing great. Dallas is a home favorite, is not good. 7-6, 9-4 against. So they're really, who knows what they're going to do at home. And Arizona is where are they? They're a road favorite to Jacksonville. Arizona 3-2 is a road favorite, so nothing special there. They are 11-1 as a road dog, so keep that in mind. Cincinnati's at Pitt, 13-4 as a road dog, 15-2 bet against as a road dog. Now again, you had Burrow in 20, and Burrow got hurt after 5 or 6 weeks, so you don't fully have a Burrow in this analysis, so you got to keep that in mind. Baltimore 13-2 is a road favorite, 10-5 against, so they're a very strong road favorite against a weak home dog in Detroit. So that's two good trends where you got one going and one against. Tennessee, they're a home favorite. They're 10-3 is a home favorite, 11-2 against. So they play close games at home. When you see that, the trends both ways means the games are they're always field goal games or something. Pitt is a home favorite, 11-3 against, so they're not that strong as a home favorite. This includes Roethlisberger in 20, played the whole year. Cleveland a home favorite, 11-3. They're a home favorite this week. They're 3-0 as a home dog, so they're 14-3 at home. They're not a good road favorite and average road dog, so they're a good home team. Jacksonville is a home dog again to Arizona. 6-7 is a home dog, 10-3 against. So again, Jacksonville is just weak. They're 26-8 against. So it's just and they've gotten worse because Lawrence is the quarterback, doesn't know what he's doing, throws a lot of interceptions. Urban Meyer's clueless, waiting to play Illinois and Purdue, and he doesn't see him on the schedule. He's getting ready for the Michigan game, I guess. So if Jacksonville plays the Lions, I would bet Jacksonville because he would think it's Michigan, Ohio State. But at this point, he's looking at the Big Ten schedule, going, when's the Penn State game? This week he's got the Arizona State game. Miami, and we talked about them. 11-2 as a road dog. Buffalo, 10-4 as a home favorite. 32-6 overall. 84%, which is the best in the league. They're 11-3 against as a home favorite. So they play close games at home. They did blow out Miami in the playoffs, and then they got blown out by Kansas City. So they're still a little erratic. They got the big win over Miami last week, but they're pretty good as a road favorite. They're 8-1. 9-1 is the road dogs. On the road, they're 17-2 since 2019. So it's all Josh Allen, 19-20. So they're very good, but not as a home favorite. They're better to bet against than take. Washington, decent road dogs. It's a tough one to look at. New England, 10-5 home favorite, 12-3 against. So New England is not a good home favorite. They play that defense. So if the other team comes in and has a good quarterback, does New Orleans have a good quarterback is the question. Which Winston are you going to get, the Green Bay one or the one last week? So I don't know. I'm sure Peyton's working on them. I'll give him a few more weeks. If he keeps throwing 3 interceptions, you'll see Taysom Hill in the game. They are not going to throw their season away on Winston, who For some reason, Leopards don't change their spots. He throws a lot of interceptions. He's still going to throw a lot of interceptions. He doesn't know how to read. He doesn't handle the pressure well. And when the blitz is coming, he just dumps it and they pick it off. So he hasn't learned. Indy road dog, 7-2 is the road dog, 8-1 against. So that would be a vote for Tennessee in this game. Houston a home dog again. They're 6-2 against as a home dog, and again new quarterback. So you don't know what the guy's going to do. I mean, he might be a superstar and he might suck. So you don't know what you're getting. That's why it's hard to bet this game. You would think under because Houston's probably not going to score a lot. Because the quarterbacks knew, you'd think they'd call in the playbook, but in the Giants Washington, the guy lit it up last week, Heineke. So you don't know what these coaches are thinking. The Jets are where are the Jets? The Jets. They're at Denver. They're 9-6 as a road dog, 12-3 against as a road dog. So on the road, they pretty much lose. They're 14-3 against on the road dog on the road. So this is a thing for Denver. The spread's a little high, 11. I'm not sure, but they don't have much of an offense. Oakland we talked about as a home favorite. Denver as a home favorite, 4-0, 3-1 against. They're actually a terrible home dog. 7-5 as a home dog, 10-2 against. Most of that's probably Kansas City and Oakland. And whoever else comes in, that's good. New England or Pittsburgh. San Diego, we talked about. 11-0 as a road dog. Strong road dog. KC, we talked about. 12-6 home favorite. 13-5 against. And Seattle. Now, here's, again, Seattle's like San Diego. 10-1 as a road favorite. 7-1 as a road dog. 17-2. Since 2019, Coach Pete's been there. Russell Wilson's been there. So this is a true line. So I would think Seattle would getting 5 is very live here. Minnesota's defense is not very good. So I would say that Seattle plus 5 probably is a pretty good play. However, Minnesota scares you a little bit. Although Kirk Cousins, he's like Stafford, he chokes in the big games. But I think this is a very high-scoring game, Seattle, Minnesota. I mean, Minnesota gave up like 21 points to Tennessee in the second half. What was that? And then they stopped scoring, which, again, what was that? So definitely Seattle's defense and against Minnesota. This will be like the Minnesota-Arizona game. I bet that over similar 54-55. It was over at halftime. I think it was upper 40s or 50, which is what I like when you're betting an over. I love when you bet the over and it's 3-0 at half. And you're like, how is this possible? Both teams average 30 points. But here, this is definitely an over. So what you got to do is look at the teams in the roles. That's the whole point of it. You've got to know, okay, you got to ask yourself, why am I betting the game? Okay, well, if San Diego is 17-1 as a road dog, that's a pretty good reason why I'm betting the game. They play KC twice a year, so I'm not really afraid of KC. KC's defense isn't really that good. San Diego will score. They got a good quarterback, Herbert. They got good receivers. They got good running. San Diego can score, and they have a good defense with Boza and the kid from Florida State finally playing. So with all that going on, that's why I'm betting it. And then again, don't look at the spread. What's the score? And I got like 31-27. Oh, now I look at the spread. It's 6.5. I get 12.5. And I'd rather take 12.5 than -0.5 because like KC did in week 1, Cleveland was up and then they scored a late touchdown to win. San Diego's got a better defense than Cleveland does. So I don't know if they'll come back and win. Probably they will, but look at Baltimore. They fumbled the ball and didn't win. So normally I'd be like, oh, KC off of a loss. Yeah, if they were playing the Lions or Jacksonville or the Jets, then they probably would pound them. But in this case, it doesn't matter. They're off a loss. San Diego's off a loss too. So it's not the same as in college when Ohio State loses to Oregon and then they go for blood in the next week against some weak team. That's a different story. But in the pros, like here, KC, San Diego, I can't say KC's off a loss, therefore I'm going to play them. Like I said, the best team in the teaser trend overall is Buffalo. I got Tampa Bay, Washington, Miami, Buffalo's over 85, San Diego, Seattle, KC, Chicago, and New Orleans. The teams to play against, so you bet against them, is Minnesota, Detroit's over 85%, the Giants, Philly, Cincinnati, Jacksonville, Houston. The Jets are over 85. San Diego's over 85. KC's not 85, but weak, and Indy. So as you can see, KC, San Diego goes both ways. So they play a lot of close games. That's what it tells you. And they just, like last week, they lose to Dallas. So they if you bet against San Diego, you won with Dallas. But if you took San Diego, you lost because they were giving 3.5 and they lost by 3 in a game they should have won because they had 2 touchdowns called back from penalties. So not that there's any fixing in the league, of course not. That's about what I got. Again, watch the injuries. So the play is take San Diego plus 12.5. Take what was my other part of the play? I don't remember the second part. I think it was take Tampa and 5. Let's just say that's the second part. So Tampa and 5, San Diego and 12.5. Anytime you can get Tom Brady plus points, obviously it's better over if Tampa was, if the Rams were 3, Tampa would be a lock getting the 9, but they're laying 1. I like them getting 5. Stafford will have happy feet. And, he's still Stafford. He's still not a winner. Let's see what he does with the Rams, but he'll find a way to throw some interceptions or fumbles. And Brady wins these games. Stafford has never won these games. So we'll see what happens. So those are the picks. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, the 25-unit lock in the pros is going on Sunday. So it's a good week to buy. I'll have at least 6 games. And that's the thing. When you buy from me, you're getting all my knowledge and stats, but you're getting, 6 games or, 3, 4, or 5 teasers and how to bet them, right? So my lock's going to be in 2 teasers, both sides of it. So the lock's 2 teams. So one team A goes and another teaser. Team B goes, another teaser. I've already given you San Diego, Tampa. You don't know how strong to play them, and then others. So, again, you're asking yourself, why am I betting the game? You should also study why you picked a team and it lost. So what did I lose last week? I lost with, let's see, I had Green Bay, I had Kansas City, I had Dallas, Seattle. Okay, so I had Seattle -6 and they lost. Why did I lose? I lost because I undervalued Tennessee. After Tennessee got killed by Arizona, I said, they're not that good. Their defense is weak because Arizona put up 40 points on them. And I figured, well, Seattle looks good. They went into Indy and won. Seattle should be a good play at home. They just got to win. So I overvalued Seattle and I undervalued Tennessee. And because of week 1, now I've got the 2 weeks in the book and last year, and now I got a better, Seattle, we're still not a very good home favorite. They still have a weak defense. Tennessee, is obviously a stronger offense than we thought. Their defense is still terrible, so they're a good over team. You can't trust them to win, except for in the game when they're playing some, the backup, who's wasn't very good at Washington, and so if Wentz is playing, then you can't. Then it's probably more of a high-scoring game. If he's not, Indy's not going to score too much. You can take Tennessee to win the game. So that's what you look for with the quarterbacks. So you want to take advantage of the injuries. But that's what you look for. So why did I lose it? Because I undervalued Tennessee. Okay, now we've adopted, we've changed that. Now we have more respect for Tennessee's offensively. How the hell Arizona held that team to 9 points is beyond me. But again, that's what happens when you don't have exhibition games that the players play in and the week off before the game. This is what happens. Now they've gotten 2 games down. Now this is week 3. They've got more of their conditioning in because there's game conditioning, not running track isn't conditioning unless you do Jerry Rice's workout where he runs up hills all day. So basically you have that type of conditioning. Now they're okay. Now we're into week 3. We've got it down. And then you just watch the injuries to see if the players are playing. So really, that's what you do. What else did I lose last week? I lost New Orleans, Carolina, because I thought Winston was better because he threw 5 touchdowns against Green Bay. Green Bay played terribly. I didn't expect Carolina to be as good. Again, I don't like Dalton or Darnold and their defense. How good's their defense? I do like their coach from Temple and then Baylor. He's a good defensive coach. So they lost a lot of good defensive players. So obviously they got better ones in. So Carolina to me's got a better defense than I thought. Holding New Orleans to 7 is you got Sean Payton. So again, why did I lose? Because I again undervalued Carolina, overvalued New Orleans. So now you're kind of like, okay, now I've seen it. Now New Orleans is a good team, not great. Carolina, I still don't know. I still think they have a good defense. We'll see about their offense tonight. They should handle Houston. But again, we got to see Houston's quarterback and on the road. And, so that's really what you ask yourself. That helps you be a better, and you got to keep easy on your bets. You can't bet too much, because you can't tell. So one game, you don't want one game to kill. You don't want to bet $1,000 on a game and you're not $1,000 better. You're a $200 better, and then you got 1,000. You lose $1,000, and you go, oh my God, I'm done. Well, it's like stocks or any other investment. You bet what you can afford to lose that won't kill you. And then you can make your normal, like here this week, there's a 25 unit bet. But if you bet a lot last week and lost, you can't bet the 25 unit bet this week. And next week there'll be another 20 unit lock, and the week after and the week after. So you're kind of saving your money, and that's where you really want to focus your money on and build your bankroll is on these strong plays that I find. Green Bay plus 9.5. When will Pro Picks? Green Bay and 9.5. I don't love. I don't know. Frisco a couple of years ago ran all over them. I didn't like Green Bay's defense against the Lions, so hard to say. It's probably a decent bet. I don't love it, but I think there's better games on the board. Again, they're not at home. They're not playing the Lions. So are they going to be the New Orleans team, or are they going to be this? But if Frisco runs it down their throat, they'll get killed. So again, I don't know what you're getting. So I kind of watch that game. I'll probably post the Pro Picks. I'm not playing tonight's game. Probably tomorrow. I want to see injuries. Like I said, if Wentz is out, I'm playing Tennessee. If he plays, I probably won't. And I want to see the injuries on Chicago. If Fields is starting, I want to bet Cleveland. If Dalton's starting, I probably will bet it over. Pittsburgh's injuries. If they're injured, I like Cincinnati. And, so I gave Tampa Bay and San Diego. I got to put that on the thing. I've been concentrating on the college just because college comes first. And then, of course, the pro locks already posted. But college is so many games, so I posted a lot of them on Saturday because it's Saturday. It comes before the Sunday, obviously, and I'm not betting tonight. So I feel I have a little more time to put the pros in. But probably tomorrow. I'll post them. Obviously, San Diego, Tampa. I'll post that right now. But anyway, so that's really what it is. This is investing. You got to look at why I lost. If you ask yourself why you lost and you can figure out why you lost, that's 100% better. Like I've been on, not to change the subject much, but I'm in this, what do they call it? I want to say insufficient fasting, but I know that's not right. Intermittent fasting. And so the guy says, so what's the key? And the guy says, well, don't eat the sugar and don't, try to avoid stress and relax and don't eat, carbs and bread and sugar, more so. And then you fast from like evening, like dinner time, 5-6 o'clock till noon the next day. And I've lost a lot of weight. My blood pressure and blood sugar are down and I feel great. But a lot of it is don't do this and that. So that's what you learn when you bet and you lose. Is what did I lose, and try to avoid it next time. So like your Green Bay Frisco, that's what you're trying to avoid, are those games that you want to bet Green Bay Detroit because it's strong versus weak, or Green Bay after a loss is strong versus weak, or like. San Diego KC is pretty even. Or you got pretty even game. So you got a live dog. So really what you want, the dogs have been cleaning. Really you want live dogs and, bet against the Lions type of thing. That's what you're looking, bet against the Z teams, bet against normally Atlanta or the Jets. That's what you're looking to do is get that strong team versus weak team. You don't really, because Frisco knows how to beat Green Bay, and we've seen Green Bay against New Orleans, you're not, and Green Bay's defense is very weak. It was against the Lions. So you got Aaron Rodgers, but we've seen Aaron Rodgers week one not do anything. So you can't, and I love Jones, the running back, but you can't just, it should be a close game, and Green Bay certainly could win the game, but there's that history of Frisco running it down their throat and beating them by 40 and making them look terrible. Fields confirmed starting for Bears, will be playing. You're going to play Green Bay and the Browns. Yeah, well, Fields is the starter, absolutely. Then take Cleveland. Fields will be lucky to complete 50% of his passes. And when a quarterback relies on the run, if I was coaching the defense, I'd be like, kill these guys. I'd be like, take their knees out, take their feet out. They want to run against me, then that's what I would make them pay to run. You had Randall Cunningham, you had Michael Vick, and they were the same type, but they couldn't win in the playoffs. They would run, but at the end, they both became pocket passers because they realized they got $1 million receivers running around, and that's the idea, is they let the running back run, let the receivers catch. Now you do all the running, and that's why they didn't win anything. So if Fields, what's Fields going to do against the Browns? I mean, he can't. He was like 30% last week when he came in for Dalton, and they were playing. Who was Cleveland playing last week? They were playing. Chicago was playing. They're playing Cincinnati, and he comes in and he threw a couple of picks, and since he's way down, made it 20-17. So he didn't to the Bears against Cincinnati. So now he goes to Cleveland. Mayfield runs a little too, but he's more of a passer. So I just, you can't count on Fields if they get down to bring you back, like you could with Mayfield or Brady or Mahomes. Those type of guys, you can't trust Fields to do that. Again, he's not playing. This isn't Purdue and Illinois, and Ohio State can get down and then he can throw. He's not. Believe me, he had much better talent at Ohio State than he's got at the Bears, especially wide receivers. He doesn't have an Olave, or he doesn't have Ezekiel Elliott or those type of players. So yeah, definitely take Cleveland -1. Good luck on the Green Bay and 9.5. It's over 10. Maybe I would take it, but I think I would rather play Tampa in 5 or the San Diego in 12.5 or the over in the Minnesota Seattle game before I take Green Bay. They're much safer plays, so you're playing a little risky there, even though it's Green Bay and it's Aaron Rodgers. They're not playing the Lions. They're playing a team that knows how to run it down their throat. So just be careful there. Anyway, so that's about it. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Again, the website, www.teaserking.com. Again, I have a 25-unit lock going Sunday, and the games I gave you, and then I'll have a few others. And then I like mixing in some college. So my college lock might be with my pro lock. I don't have a college lock yet, but I have a lot of strong college plays. College there's so many games that you got to absorb them all, and you got to map them out, and then you got to say, who am I playing? Where's the risk and where isn't? So, like a good example, I think Duke's playing somebody, and after watching the Duke game, Duke's playing Kansas, laying 16, and after watching Duke play Northwestern and the way they play, they're going to kill them. I mean, but you got to find it on the schedule. There's so many games that you got to find it. So definitely that I like. I played Duke over Green Bay. But anyway, have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. My email's at www.teaserking.com. Okay, everybody. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Good luck. Make a lot of money.